Welcome along to ESP number 7, ESP Soccer TV. That's the name of the game, espsoccer.com. Right, without further ado, I'm going to launch straight into the transfer news. Obviously, Robin van Persie attracting a lot of news. It was supposed to be a done deal tonight. As we speak, Robin van Persie should be a Manchester United player. That's according to the Manchester Evening News. But it's not happened, not yet. But I wouldn't bet against it, that's for sure. £20 million seems to be the amount of the deal. Arsenal were looking for 25 million from Manchester City and United, but looks like they're going to settle for less. Let the player go. Obviously, they've signed Santi Cazorla now, so now that they've got Cazorla for a bit less than Robin van Persie seems to be going for, it's a good bit of business as far as Arsenal Football Club are concerned. Also a good bit of business is Stoke City's foray on the transfer front, signing Michael Kouyate, as I told you the other day. He was in for a medical and talks today, but it was swiftly concluded, a £3 million deal, done and dusted, and he signs on the dotted line a 3-year contract with Stoke City. I think he'll be a great signing for them. Bolton Wanderers, meanwhile, have rejected a bid from Swansea City, a £5 million bid for Davis, not the big burly Davis that plays up front, but no, the other Davis. I think it's Mark Davis. Can't remember his name all of a sudden. But anyway, looks like nothing's going to happen there unless Swansea up the ante. Meanwhile, I was talking about Wolves a minute ago, obviously selling Michael Kouyate, but they have not accepted a bid for Stephen Fletcher. But the 25-year-old striker is very frustrated at his situation and has put in a transfer request. He knows there's interest from Sunderland. That's well publicised. Martin O'Neill was asked about it, but Martin O'Neill, the Sunderland boss, didn't want to say too much. The striker, 12 goals in 26 games. That's a decent tally for a team that was struggling last season. He was Player of the Year. Obviously, Wolves want to get the most money they possibly can for him, as they have to pay a percentage of the transfer fee to Burnley. So far, they've turned several bids down, not just from Sunderland, apparently. So, anyway, he could be on the move, but it's going to cost an awful lot more money than what is being talked about at the moment. Meanwhile, I understand that Nottingham Forest have made inquiries about Simon Cox of West Bromwich Albion. The striker could be on the move, possibly. Anthony Gerrard definitely is on the move. He's signed for Huddersfield Town from Cardiff City. And Paris Saint-Germain, this was a big deal. They've agreed a deal with Lucas Moura's current team, Sao Paulo. It's a lot of money. I think it's, what is it? I've written it down somewhere. I think it's 35 million euros, if I remember correctly. And Manchester United boss Alex Ferguson thinks that's a tad too much, to say the least. I think he thinks it's grossly inflated, that particular transfer fee. So Paris Saint-Germain basically buying whoever they want at the moment. That's not the case with Liverpool. They're actually going to have to let a player go or two. Craig Bellamy is going to be allowed to leave and join Cardiff City on a free transfer, it seems. Brendan Rodgers allowing the player to be nearer his family. He calls it a move for compassionate reasons. On the Daniel Agger situation, he doesn't want to sell him, that's quite clear. He says, Brendan Rodgers said, I'm not being forced to sell anyone. And as far as Agger's concerned, he said he's getting back up to speed. He loves the club and the supporters. So perhaps Daniel Agger will stay put. Of course, Glasgow Rangers wish a lot more of their players stayed put, but with their demotion to Scottish Division 3, that clearly couldn't have been the case. But things are looking on the up, or are they? Mike Ashley is lurking in the background. The Newcastle owner is in talks with Charles Green for a stake in the club. And Ali McCoist, of course, the manager, who's a true blue through and through, has been buying season tickets, and he's set a great example for the fans who... well, I think they've sold 20,000 season tickets. That's a pretty great achievement given what's happened to Glasgow Rangers. Obviously, a huge club, as are their rivals, Glasgow Celtic, who managed to beat HJK Helsinki 2-0 thanks to goals from Joe Ledley and Samaras. So they're through to the next round of qualification. Meanwhile, just going back to Moura for a moment, I forgot to let you know that he's actually signed a deal from Sao Paulo. The Manchester United transfer target has signed a deal to join PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, in January 2013, so all done in advance, and he's going to remain there. The contract would say anyway that he's going to remain there till July 2017. Well, talking of Manchester City, let's move across the city to them. One player they are interested in is Senegal's Olympic international midfielder. He's 22 years of age. His name is Kouyate. He's 6'4". Arsenal also interested, so it remains to be seen where he'll end up. And talking of Arsenal, Sahin, of course, that deal hasn't gone through just yet. It's a bit of a transfer triangle going on there. Apparently, Real Madrid won't let Sahin leave till they sign Luka Modric. They've already put down an offer of £30 million. We'll see whether or not Spurs accept. And while we're in Spain, let's talk about Barcelona's transfer targets. Alex Song, apparently they've put in a bid, or are about to put in a bid of €15 million. Not sure if I believe that or not. The aforementioned Daniel Agger, they're interested in as well. And also David Luiz of Chelsea. They want all of those three players, and there's some other transfer targets too they're looking at, according to many reports. Blackburn Rovers, meanwhile, have not let relegation get them down on the transfer front. They're looking at bringing in a number of players. They've already brought in, obviously, Danny Murphy, Dixon Etuhu, and they're putting a fresh bid, or are about to put in a fresh bid for Huddersfield's striker, Jordan Rhodes. It's going to take a lot of money for Huddersfield to part company with him, and looks like they've got Colin Kazim Richards in on loan from Besiktas. So, I mean, he's played Champions League football. He's not a bad player at all. Leon Best, obviously, another good player. Looks like he's overcome his cruciate knee ligament problems. And, well, looks like Blackburn have assembled a decent team. It's going to be interesting to see how they gel next season. And, obviously, I'll keep you posted on any more transfer news as and when it comes up. But for now, till the next time, keep enjoying that football and keep coming back to www.espsoccer.com.